Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to For Collectors. For Collectors, my name is Sammy Thunder. And tonight I'm going to try something a little different. I did this once in one of my own live streams where I was showcasing videos of my card shows, but also kind of providing a little bit of a director's cut narration to it. And I thought it was pretty entertaining. I think a lot of people liked it. And so I started kind of going across to some other channels and doing the same thing. And, I was pointing out some of the positive things and, some of the cards I was seeing and some of the different experiences from different shows and just kind of pointing out some of the really positive details from each. So I wanted to try that here, and with the permission of these two channels, I wanted to try that out. And so I reached out to Greg from Midlife Sports Cards and Mikey from G's Mikey to showcase some of their more recent card show videos. Now, the two obviously have similarities in the outcome. Obviously, it's a card show. Obviously, there's cards. They're both showcasing the cards, but the way they deliver it is pretty different from one another. And I think that's very unique and interesting to kind of see the comparisons and also to be able to contrast them. So I'm going to show you a portion of of each of the videos. Obviously, Greg does his own narration, which is phenomenal. Does a great job at doing it. Always inspires me to do it. And Mikey, very entertaining, charismatic. The videos shine through. Also does a little bit of narration. So I'm going to jump into, first I'm going to do Greg's video at the Fairfield Card Show, which is more recent. So I'm going to bring that up. And then we'll maybe talk a little bit about that, or we'll jump right into Mikey's after. So I'm going to shift over. I'll still be present, and I'll just kind of give my comments, narration a little bit. Obviously not try to talk over Greg, but let's see. I'm gonna get this for you here. All right, great. So we'll go ahead and play it. I think my microphone should capture the dialogue and the experience of the show. So let's see.
Is on his website. His website is phenomenal. I'll show it to you here in a minute. Tons and tons of early tobacco stuff. Almost all of his stuff is pre-war. Not all of it, but a lot of it is pre-war. Tons of tobacco cards, including some of these 1888 Allen and Ginter N25 animal cards. Had a whole box of them.
It's pretty amazing to
find
that stuff.
These look probably somewhat familiar because
not display cases.
The 1888 Allen and Ginter, they're very, very similar to those pirate cards that you guys know I like. So I went through a lot of those. Always fun to see things you just don't see that often.
Stuff that Greg sees.
And this is a big Northern California show. And then I went through another box, and there was a lot of good stuff in there. Now, the next couple of boxes are kind of like a little bit of everything from the turn of the century to about early 1950s. And so as I'm going through here, again, just not stuff you see. Now, he didn't have prices on them because he had his computer out and his website open, and everything is on there. So if there's anything you see here, go to Justin's website, t206cards.com. Super nice guy. I'm sure he's probably willing to negotiate a little as well. I hadn't seen him set up in a while, so I was excited to see him there, and he brought more inventory than normal. Now, this box is a bunch of cards from the 20s to the 50s, and that card jumped at me. That's a 1924 Carreras, and they're fictional characters, and there was that Captain Hook, and I'm like, I didn't think I was going to come to a show and buy a Captain Hook card from the 1920s. There's a Sherlock Holmes card. But before I knew it, I'm like, am I going to buy a Captain Hook card today? Because that thing is awesome. So I kept digging through this box, and it literally, there's a little of everything in this box, as you can see quickly, just the wide variety. And I'll flip through a fair amount of them. I won't show you everything because he had so much inventory, but I just want to give you an idea of what he's got. So he got some 1950 Bowmans. That's a beautiful Pee Wee Reese.
Crazy to
1950
see
Bowman
like
in an SGC
5. Look at that.
And that card was gorgeous. And a bunch of the cards in this box were also autographed. Speaking of, there's a Ralph Kiner autographed 1950 Bowman. And then a Larry Doby. This one's not signed, but it's beautiful in a SGC 5. So I'm going through this box, and about, I don't know, maybe a third of them were autographed in these next couple.
Just want to make mention before I jump back in. I don't know if Greg thinks this or not. I will say, going through boxes and boxes of stuff like this is so liberating and non-intimidating as well. I don't know if there's a better word for it. But being able to not have to ask a dealer, hey, can I see this? Can I see this? Can I see this in a display case? And being able to go through boxes of stuff like this is liberating and just is just an ease of mind. Puts your mind at ease is the better way to put it. I don't know. I mean, you can kind of just tell with Greg's reaction, that's sort of what he's experiencing. And the one thing I mentioned to him, I commented on this video, was like, it's so cool to kind of just casually see some really big star cards in boxes like this. But this guy is clearly, the dealer is clearly a big time dealer and has tons of inventory. And so probably he has really high profile cards in his display cases. And maybe he doesn't identify these cards in here as high profile. But incredible. I mean, this is right up my alley. Obviously, it's right up Greg's alley. So I'll continue.
Well, a box of beautiful Richie Ashburn, and there's a lot of autographs in there, and then a lot of them weren't. So these are anywhere, again, from like the 20s to the 50s, and then a couple of others mixed in. But when you get to a vintage dealer with pre-war stuff that is as rare as this, that you just don't see at your local card show, like I spent quite a bit of time at this table. Again, Justin's a great guy too. So you had a couple 51 Dobies. I'm currently on a little bit of a 51 Bowman kick. So I really enjoyed this particular box and seeing some of those. So I kept on moving along, and again, the box next to it, there's some 52 Bowmans. There's a Rizzuto signed, Gil Hodges. And again, the fun part was that you didn't know which one was going to be signed and which wasn't. And there was just tons and tons and tons. You saw the boxes. That was just part of his table. All those boxes I showed you guys a moment ago. And then I love the 52. Look at that. That famous card, and it's autographed. I mean, that's a very famous card. And it was signed too. You don't see that. There was a 52 Tops Look and See in there. I've talked about those before. I've got quite a few of those myself. I like the Look and Sees from the 52 Tops company. And I personally really, really enjoy these boxes where there's just such a wide variety, because it makes me want to dig through the whole box. Because I'm like, well, what if the section that I was going to skip had something I couldn't live without?
Exactly.
There's a George Washington.
I know that feeling all too well.
The Bowman color Dobie there, and then another Bowman color. One of my favorite looking cards is that Warren Spahn on top. And a couple more Dobies, another Dobie. This dealer, Justin, has a lot of Dobies. He usually has a lot of Dobies and a lot of Willie Mays in his inventory, I've noticed.
Warren Spahn 54 SG.
So we're now into, the 53s, 54s. And,
boxes.
Like literally I spent so much time at his table, I started to kind of feel bad. But it is always nice to catch up with him and then a bunch of other people that, I'm friends with. Ended up walking up and we get to talking. That's a beautiful 55 Spawn. And there's another 55 Spawn. And, so I was talking to him, and I had his business card still, which is what I showed you a minute ago. And he's like, hey, what about my T206 card? So I gave one of my T206 cards. He put it in the case. I don't think he probably got much for that, but it was still fun to give him one and talk about it. Now, again, his website is extensive, and he recently updated it, and every single card that you're looking at right now on this video is on his website, t206cards.com. And, if there's a price that you want to negotiate, I'd say just email Justin. He's a great guy. And a young guy. His future father-in-law was with him. Again, it's probably the third or fourth time I've seen him set up, but never has he brought as much inventory as he did to this Fairfield show. Again, 55 tops, just tons of them. And again, a lot of them are autographed. So I kept on moving. There's some 41 play balls, which obviously have some very famous and recognizable cards in them, from DiMaggio to Ted Williams. There are a bunch of great cards in this set. And you can see the ball.
So I'm going to stop here for a second. You guys kind of get the gist of it all. I think we all kind of feel the feeling of having to go through all the boxes and the fear of missing out on something that you would want. And this is a good case of that, because the boxes are mixed with stars and commons and semi-stars, and it's just endless, and endless in a good way. So it's completely understandable that Graig spent a lot of time there. And clearly, based on the conversation, Graig has done some business with this dealer, Justin, before. And also, something I do in my videos, again, not through dialogue or narration, but mostly through, at the beginning of every table I go to, I always leave the business card so y'all can reach out to the dealers. But what I like that Graig does here is that he also consistently plugs the dealer and their website, and also provides a little bit of background on the dealer as well, to ensure that there's no reason to feel intimidated to reach out. It can be intimidating to make an offer on cards that you see. It's completely understandable. And so, but I like the way that Graig delivers it. He makes you feel like now the dealer really well. So I appreciate about that with Graig. Yeah, this is I'm going to skip to just briefly cover some stuff here. Now we're getting into some late 50s stuff.
Adobe in there, and then a Mays and a Ted Williams. So again, when there's a little bit sprinkled in throughout an entire box, I have a hard time not going through all of it. It's got some 62 Mays, 59 Mays, another 59 Mays, Sparky Anderson rookie card, a Hank Aaron 59, a Hank Aaron 58, an Orlando Peta 59. This box is just absolutely stuffed with goodies. 59 Dobie. Again, he's big on Dobie. So he always has lots of.
I was very jealous when he was going through this box. It's, again, endless, absolutely endless to see all this really cool stuff. Just sifting through all of it.
Dobie cards, which is great. I have several of his myself.
In the corner there, 56.
And so then I got back into some of the tobacco cards and the early turn of the century cards, and I came across this 1910 tobacco set.
So I'm going to shift back to the screen here. Okay. So Graig's videos are incredibly infectious and in a good way. Very entertaining to watch, very informative, and the pace is very calming and soothing. And Graig's card show videos are just absolutely appealing for that reason alone. You can sit and watch him go through boxes and just be able to soak in everything. And I think that's what I really enjoy from watching this particular video is that the stuff he's going through, it just continues. And it's boxes and boxes of really cool stuff. And so it just, you never know what he's going to be looking at next. And I think that's what makes Graig's videos, his card show videos in particular, so appealing. So I just want to say thank you to Graig for letting me kind of cruise through his videos. He was all about it. But I look forward to future shows that Graig's going to be going to. This Fairfield show obviously had a lot going for it. So, excuse me. We're going to shift over to Mikey now. In Mikey's videos, you're going to see there's differences where I'm not saying Mikey's videos, his pace is a lot quicker, but it's a good pace. It's a lot of fun. And it just kind of shows the differences in style of collecting and the recording video, the content creation. You can Mikey is very much like action-packed, really, on the ball. Let's keep going. That's what we want to see. So let me bring up Mikey's now, and we will go from there. So hang tight, guys. All right, front row, yes. Okay, let's have some fun.
I thought that was a real Honus Wagner. I almost went poo-poo in my pants.
Oh, man, he's so funny.
All right, guys, so I want you guys to pay attention right here because this was crazy talk. Listen. How much are the Bowman?
They're all listed individually in the Beckett, so I can, for instance, some let me know what you do.
So these are here, you're going based on the Beckett?
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Check this out. How much for that card right there?
The number one card?
Number one card.
So we can see that, it's kind of cool. Mikey, his pace is faster, but entertaining.
Looking at 200 on that one, I could do 100 for you.
200?
Yeah. Number one.
Never mind. All right, guys, you guys really have to be careful out there. Don't ever go out and buy cards that are based on Beckett prices. Check this out.
Cool.
These cards, no way, $200, let alone $100. Don't make me feel like I'm getting a good price because I know exactly what these cards go for. This is card number one of the 1956 top set. I can easily buy it on eBay. I'm just thought I could probably pick it up at a card show, right then and there, put it in my binder. But $100, let alone $200, I don't think so. So be careful out there, guys. Don't ever buy cards based on Beckett value, ever.
$5 like that.
All right, let's see what we got here. Mystery packs.
So I just want to mention that bravo to Mikey for taking the time to kind of have an educational moment in his card show videos. He's done it a lot. He's been very, very he's been very big on making sure that if you're buying something, whether it's at a card show or online on eBay, which is where I think where he buys a lot of his stuff, to make sure you want to do your homework, do your due diligence, and he really kind of goes through and encapsulates the best possible ways to do it. And really, really great. I mean, despite the comedy, the comedic aspect with the sound effects, and I mean, it's funny, but I do want to just give credit to Mikey for being able to, not only acknowledge it for himself, but also kind of share that with everybody else too. So I'm going to continue here with the show.
Make sure you give me the shout out on the video. All right, how many are we doing? 2 and.
All right, how about we go for 2 of them, right?
Okay.
Let's see what we got here. We'll do some. Now, the cards that are in here, are they Philo Ultra?
No.
No, they're just random stuff that you put in there.
Random card, yep.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll do that in a candy bar because I love chocolate.
It's very cool to see
Mystery
the
pack.
negotiations happening, Mikey buying stuff,
Frank, you
and
want to tell
giving a
everybody what you're
shout
doing
out.
with these mystery packs?
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty simple. You get an autograph or memorabilia card, so you're at least getting your money's worth back. And then you get 4 inserts of parallels with the occasional rookie or
The graphics
superstar base card, but that's just because I was running out of inserts and stuff. And then if you find me, then you get to pick a great prize from the prize table, and everything's 30 to $60 with occasional big
Right on.
card like that. We got occasional bigger stuff too, but you can win.
Skip
Man.
ahead
win
just to
pick one
kind
of
of
these
get
things right
more
here.
of the vintage.
So,
So I'll let you look.
Sure.
If you like, can I look at this one?
After looking at this binder, she didn't have anything crazy. A lot of it was just common cards, El Benchos. And then when it comes to buying small collections, I do have set prices on common cards, El Benchos. For 53 to 1956 tops or Bowman, doesn't really matter. I like to be in the $3 range for those, somewhat, ballpark figure. For 1957s, I like to be in the $1 range, ballpark figure. And anything after, 58 through 69, I do like to be in the 50-cent range, which is pretty funny because my offer was pretty much similar to the vendor that she first showed it to. And when I made her an offer of $240, which is I feel is a pretty fair deal for a bunch of El Benchos, she did mention that another vendor had offered her $300. And I had told her that is a fair deal, that she should definitely take that because, again, what she has is a bunch of El Benchos for one. So I'm not sure exactly what she did, but that was that.
It's kind of interesting.
All right, guys. So this box right here was crazy. This thing was filled with.
So just to go back, because I skipped ahead a little bit, Mikey was going through a binder that a woman brought up to a dealer, and I know Mikey's a huge set builder, so he's always, when there's an opportunity to add to some set building opportunities, he'll jump on it. But the dealer was looking at it first. The dealer declined, passed it over to Mikey. Mikey looked at it, and he obviously, you heard his explanation as far as how much he wants to pay for commons, and so I guess it didn't work, didn't happen. The seller won a little bit. I guess received an offer from another dealer somewhere at the show for a little bit more. And so Mikey suggested, hey, absolutely try to get that deal if you can. I can only offer you this much. And so, listen, opportunities come up. Not every opportunity is the right one. So, you got to just sometimes turn away a little bit. And it's kind of another educational opportunity for Mikey to kind of demonstrate to some of the viewers, or some of his viewers out there. So I thought that was really useful, especially because, for myself and others that happen to see binders sometimes, it can be a little challenging to come up with a price really quickly in your head that makes sense as an offer. So really nice for Mikey to do that, to kind of see, especially a Book of Commons, which can be very difficult to ascertain a value on sometimes.
Star players and Hall of Famers, really good deals. I did a lot of damage right here. I spent, in fact, most of my money right here in this little section. And I can't wait till I share with you guys exactly what I picked up, man. Because $3, $5, hey, I even got a discount.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like how Mikey slows down, because you can definitely tell probably what cards he's going to pick up based on just the normal speed. So very cool. Obviously, he's dropping the cards that he wants.
Check out that Shoeless Joe Jackson for sale. I've never seen anybody have that card for sale in person. It's one of my favorite cards all time.
Love the music too. It's such a staple of Mikey's. Yeah, it's really, I mean, he does, again.
All right, guys, you guys want to see my pickups?
Right.
And I think we'll start.
So let me stop it here. Okay. So Mikey's video is a lot faster paced, much faster in pace. His narration kind of comes in and out, lets the show kind of carry itself. But also a huge educational proponent in his delivery, and will call out a bad deal on his videos so that y'all will know, and will also call out a great deal so that everyone will know as well. So I think his videos, his card show videos are a lot of fun. The graphics are great. There's like a nostalgic childlike feel about him to kind of bring you back to when you used to go to shows as a kid. So I think that's also pretty cool. But yeah, Mikey's videos are very good. They're very informative and can help teach you a lot. And I'm always a sucker for whenever he releases any new card show videos, and whenever he releases any videos, honestly, just to kind of showcase his set building. So I hope that these videos, I hope the director's cut concept is a fun one. It's a little bit of work, but work in progress, more or less. But I hope they were interesting enough to continue with maybe a little bit of a series of it. So thank you so much, Mikey, and thank you, Greg, for allowing me to show your videos. And thank you, everybody that watched tonight. Definitely, I'd love to hear what you have to say. So leave a comment below. Give me your thoughts. And everybody enjoy the rest of the week. Subscribe to the 4 Collectors channel if this is your first time. And we'll see you soon. Take care.